Hello and welcome to Gauntlet Hangouts. My name is Jesse and I'll be your GM today. Today we're going to be playing the game Dark Davokar, an adaptation of Cthulhu Dark that takes place in the world of the Swedish dark fantasy game Symbaroum. I'm joined today by an incredible cast of players. So let's go around the table and learn a little bit about who you'll all be playing. So Christian, would you like to tell us who you are playing today?
Hi, yeah, sure. I'm Verden the Scarred, a former thug sellsword, has been looking for a company to find the riches and golds and treasures of Davokar.
Nice. Cool. And Mathias.
Yeah, hi. I'll be playing Gadrame, and Gadrame is an escaped cult stranger with probably running from some kind of unsavory past incident that he survived thus far. But...
Nice. Cool. And Oli, who will you be playing?
I am going to be playing Mahela. She is a disinherited noble, and she was thrown out of her awful Gormenghast-esque family because she has command truths rituals. So she was able to discover all of the terrible conspiracies that were happening in her family, and they just got rid of her, basically.
Nice.
So she's out wandering the forest because of that.
Perfect. Love it. Cool. So as I mentioned, the world that we are playing in is the world of Symbaroum. A little bit of background on this world. So the human nation known as Ambria has just emerged from a terrible war against an undead horde. Though victorious, the Ambrian homelands were destroyed in the process, forcing a massive migration into new lands. These new lands are sparsely populated, mostly by tribes of human barbarians, though goblins and ogres also call this area home. The most notable feature of the new lands is Davokar, a massive and ancient forest that has grown over the ruins of the long-dead civilization of Symbaroum. Despite barbarian warnings to stay away, the threat of roving bands of elves and worse things, and even the rangers of the Ambrian queen herself standing guard against intruders, Davokar draws many into her depths. The ruins dotted throughout the forest hold many treasures, and the right discovery can provide a comfortable lifestyle for many, many years. The forest holds other secrets, though, too. Monstrous abominations and terrible curses are just as likely to be a treasure hunter's reward for stepping too far into the heart of Davokar. So with that, we open on a small and dying fire. The three of you have just entered your 6th week of travels along the brighter parts of Davokar, which is you've been following kind of the western perimeter of the forest. So in your time in the woods, you have already actually happened upon one small, though heavily looted ruin, and have filled your heavy packs with overlooked trinkets. When the three of you are shaken awake by a thunderous quake, you have all been sleeping, which was probably not the best thing to have been doing. So who was responsible for keeping watch? Would anyone like to volunteer? Okay, Christian. Why is it that Vardern fell asleep?
He had been drinking way too much liquor from the day before that he managed to smuggle with him without letting the others know it. So once they fell asleep, he started to.
You haven't been sharing.
No, I haven't been sharing. So I was a little bit, I was going for it.
That was my immediate thought as well. We're not concerned that he fell asleep, just that he's not been sharing his booze.
Right. That's the biggest issue. You've spent 6 weeks together already, at least. And
maybe it was some short, like a last flask of really strong spirit that I kept for myself and I just felt like this is it. Let's.
Okay.
Yeah. So I probably wake up with a very bad hangover, and like trying to clear my eyes.
Okay.
Watching the fire.
Nice. So, so obviously there's no internal warning amongst the party. Just this sudden rumble along the ground. Interestingly enough, it is keeping pace with your heartbeats. So as your heart is beating, you feel this boom, boom, boom. And it probably wakes you up too late. It's too close to where you are because it was so rhythmic and kind of keeping you in your sleep. So if Vardern has woken up with a hangover, the other two of you are a little more startled and probably slightly more alert. It is not quite bright daylight. The sky is still a little gray. The sun is maybe starting to peek through, but you're in the forest and you're in what's called the bright part of the forest, which means that the light is still coming through. The dark part of the forest is where supposedly the light never even touches the soil. So, so not surprisingly, you can still see some light through the trees. Gadrame, you wake up first. You hear this sound, and do you have any expectations about what it might be, given that you have a history as a ranger and probably know these woods better than anyone?
I think my immediate thought is some kind of hunting barbarian party. Like that's the immediate. Oh, there's like a drum beat.
Yeah.
Before I maybe fully realize this is not because I'm feeling it in the ground as well, right? Or
you do feel it in the ground, so it does feel like it could be drums. It very well could be, but it also has it is shaking the ground. Like that is what sort of startles you awake. So you have a sense that it's barbarians. The three of you have run into barbarians a couple of times before, and have thus far managed to avoid pissing them off too much. So Mahira, what happened during the last barbarian encounter? And how did you avoid getting them to be too annoyed with you? How did they let you go free and stay in the woods?
Yeah. Where did we encounter them? Where did we encounter them last?
So you encountered them probably, it was nearly a week ago at this point. So further south down the forest, you were still in the bright part of the forest, which is maybe not no one is really welcome in the forest, but it's not uncommon to encounter Ambrians and barbarians there together.
Okay. Yeah. So we were coming out of an old settlement that we'd looted, and then we found that we were surrounded by barbarians, and they were going to kill us and take all their stuff, to take all our stuff. But then I could sense that something was wrong, and I performed the command confession ritual, and I found that one of the barbarian chief's lieutenants was planning to kill him and take over the tribe, and I just kind of whispered that in his ear, and they let us go. And then as we were going off, we heard his horrible screams as we were sort of like
nice. I love that.
Running for our lives.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. So this rhythmic sound keeps getting closer and closer to you. Mihira, you are awake. You hear this as well. We'll say Vardern, maybe you stumble out of I think you guys maybe had like small tents that you were sleeping in, some sort of a easily transportable pack that you could stuff into your heavy bags, and just move with you. But Vardern, you wake up at this point, and the other two are already awake, and maybe starting to decide what this thing is or what the course of action should be.
Yeah, I'm definitely already like hastily trying to put out the last remnants of the fire and covering it up with soil and dirt.
Nice.
I say, gotta get moving.
Okay. So Vardern wakes up and
Getting on his feet, grabbing his hammer, great hammer.
How do you feel about this, given that your other two compatriots are already awake?
I curse loudly and try not to make myself look worse than that I already made myself look. So I guess like I'm trying to I quench the curses, like I'm and then forcing myself on my feet and stumbling around and almost takes a few steps into the last night's fire. So Firefly starts
And
sorry.
a small stone hits you, and you look around and you see me like hiding behind a tree, like, and then I hide back around the tree again.
And then I just take a few quick steps and throw myself behind a bush and a stone, not far from where Mahira pointed.
Nice. So the three of you essentially just are hiding at this point to see what this thing might be, and hope that it doesn't see you before you see it. You smell it first. This smell of kind of, as the fire dies away, you smell this kind of like freshly overturned soil and like a syrupy sweetness, almost like the sap of pine or something. Like it just, there's a waft of it through the air as it as this kind of essence moves towards you. And then you see the kind of like bowing of trees as this entity moves through. It's easily 4, maybe 5 men tall. And instead of muscle and flesh, it is composed of branches and vine. Actually, I'm going to have, Gadrame, why don't you make a roll for me to see if you know what this beast is. So you get 1 die just for trying, you get 1 die for your...
I am not skilled in beasts or monsters, so either one of those applies, right?
Yep. So go ahead and take those 2. So you get 1 for trying, 1 for your background, 1 for your occupation, because both of those are relevant.
Oh, okay.
And then if you want to add any dark die as well to have a sense of what this creature is.
Yeah. I think I do want to do that. So that's 4.
Yep, and the 1 for 3 plus a dark die. Yep.
Yeah. So like that.
Yep. So you should be able to just select all those and then re-roll them.
You mark one of them as a dark die on roll for your party.
What was that?
How do you mark one of them as dark on roll for your party?
So I have there are some clear ones and some purple ones up there. So I'm making the purple ones the dark die.
That makes sense.
Yep. So is that your roll? Oh, there we go. Ooh,
there,
nice.
4.
4 is your highest.
Yeah,
cool.
But the dark one is the highest.
Yep.
So.
Almost. Next time I'll get you. Okay. So you know this creature as a colossus. It is a constructed being of essentially plant material that is this hulking, shambling mass. And the thing that is interesting about them is that you never see them apart from barbarians. And as you are peering, you notice that there is actually a barbarian, essentially astride upon its neck, maneuvering it through the forest, and very clearly seeking the three of you out, or seeking something out, like notice there was a fire, something, some indication. So it is currently looking for you. But the beast itself likely will not attack you without being incited by the barbarian that is riding it.
I think I do something in along the lines of going to and then motioning to the others, like to look beyond that. Like there's what we need to watch out for is what's behind it, right? And then trying to look where we can go at a perpendicular avoidance away from them.
Okay, nice. So what do the other two of you do? So let's start with Verdurn. What do you do, given the advice that Gadramé just gave you?
Yeah, we didn't have time to collect our stuff so well, except for my big hammer. I didn't get my bow and my arrows, which bothers me a bit. So I'm staying very low, like almost in this spidery position, trying to move sideways from where I disappeared from its possible view of me. I'm trying to move sideways away from the others, like they're on my right. I'll try to move left a bit and move in the bushes and behind some trunks and a little bit away, so we just spread out a bit before it.
Okay. So as you're maneuvering there, so you left a few of your items behind, correct? Like there's still traces of your camp. And as you're maneuvering, there actually are a few things that could maybe be in reach if you stretched a little bit. You could grab maybe your bow.
I'll try to do that for sure.
Okay, so let's come back to that in just a second. And Mahira, what are you doing?
I understand it right. If we just leave now, we're leaving behind like 6 weeks worth of swag, aren't we?
Yeah, minus whatever couple things you have on your back, which is not much.
No, it's not. How far away is my? I'm assuming that stuff's in my tent.
Yep. Which is at this point probably like just a few yards away. You probably ducked behind the closest tree once you woke up, or maybe a couple trees back. So you could get towards it, but probably not without being seen.
Okay. What do I know about the relationship that the barbarian has with this colossus? If we were to somehow indispose the barbarian, would the colossus then just go wild and start attacking, or would it be docile? What would happen there?
Okay, let's have you make a roll and try to see what you might know. That I think would easily be a lore check.
Have lore.
Yep.
You have that.
So one for trying, one for lore. I don't know that there's anything as a part of your noble background.
My background? No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
So that's 2 dice.
2, and then whether you're willing to test yourself, you can also throw in a dark die.
I'm just going to go with the 2 light dice for the minute.
Nice. Probably smart given your current corruption.
Yeah, my current corruption starts high. How do I roll the dice on here?
So if you just click on it and hold down Shift and click the other one, you should be able to hit re-roll selected, the green button.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Roll selected. Oh, that is not good. That is not good at all.
Right. So do you want to re-roll that? If you throw in a dark die now, you could re-roll it.
Yeah, let's throw in a dark dice. How do I make this die dark? I can't see any of the purple dice at the minute.
Oh, maybe shift to your right. They should be there. They might be like off to the side a little bit.
I've got no scrolling. I've got those I got
Oh,
those 5
weird.
dice.
Okay, so just along the top, just do 1d6 and select the color purple. Oh, there we go.
Aha.
Can someone move that
Someone's-
over for you?
Thank you.
Yeah, I moved it up. Can you see it now?
Nice.
I can see it now. Yeah, thank you. I think it's the message at the bottom because I'm playing on my laptop. Okay,
Oh,
so we
sure.
will selected. I got a 5 now. There we go. That's better.
Nice. But
Do
that
I
was your
reroll the other
dark
two as
die.
well? Well,
Did you re-roll the other ones or no?
I did not reroll the other ones as well. So I'll
Oh,
reroll
you can
those as
re-roll
well.
them. Yeah, go ahead and re-roll those two.
So okay, so damn it,
Doesn't
Okay,
change
so
anything.
I get a 5, but my corruption. So I succeed, but my corruption goes up as well.
Well, it
That's
doesn't
great.
necessarily go up. So you need to
Oh, okay.
re-roll. You need to re-roll one of those, and then if it's higher than your current corruption, so just roll a die, and if it's higher than 3,
Got it.
then your corruption goes up. So
Yay! It did not.
No,
Okay.
lucky. Yeah.
Lucky.
Okay, so you got a 5. So here's what you know. You also are aware that this is a colossus.
Mhm.
You have not seen them, but as a part of your experience as a sorcerer, actually, you tell me. How are you familiar with this beast? Like what? Not what you know about it, but how did you encounter them or learn about
Okay.
them?
So I've never seen this thing in the flesh before, but before I got thrown out of my family's labyrinthine castle, I used to spend a lot of my time in their many libraries, and so I have a little flashback of me flicking through this kind of like old hand illuminated grimoire, and it's got a picture of one of those there, and I'm sort of trying to translate the arcane writings that are there about this colossus and its relationship with its riders.
Nice. So what you know is, at least according to the knowledge of this book, is
Yes.
that if you target the barbarian, the colossus itself will essentially just like crumble. So the barbarian is what is keeping this thing active.
Okay.
And if you were to take out the barbarian, then the mass itself would fall. If you, however, don't take out the barbarian but just attack them, then you're obviously at risk of some sort of blowback from the creature.
Okay. I try and indicate to Valadon that he should, if possible, try and take out the barbarian rider. Some sort of like. I'm not super good on the military signals.
No, me neither. Like, yeah, some basic signs.
Yeah.
Nice. Love it. Okay.
I'm trying to get to my bow then. Like,
Yeah. So let's do a roll to try to get that.
Mhm.
So 1 for trying, 1 for athletics for being a
Mhm.
sellsword seems right. The thug probably doesn't quite apply in this case, but that's 2 dice. And are you willing to risk your
Yeah.
mind or your body to get this?
yes, I am. So I'm gonna have 3 dice. Is that so?
Yep. 2
No.
plus a black one, or 2 plus a dark die.
Yeah, 2 plus a dark die. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll use the ones on the top left that we.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Perfect. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I'll say tie goes to the light die in that case.
Ooh.
So you are going to do this, no problem. So give me the scenario of how does it look when you reach for this bow?
So I'm picking up a stone,
Oh,
like
okay.
a fist, a good stone, larger than a fist, and I throw it away in the bushes, not out in the open, but sort of behind the leaves where I entered the shrubbery, sort of. So the leaves moves about there, and just a moment after, I tumble out quickly, grab the bow and the quiver, and then I tumble back out in the bushes or shrubbery in the under vegetation there.
Nice.
So
Okay.
that's my aim, at least.
That's awesome. Love it. Yeah, and you do it, no problem. This is like the rocks go flying, and this colossus and the barbarian rider just turn and start heading that direction. So you're able to get your bow, and interestingly enough, the barbarian's back is to you at this point.
Nice.
Yeah.
So okay, is our general, besides what Mahindra told us earlier about our experiences with barbarians. We are not so very friendly with them in general, right?
Yeah, no, not. I mean,
No.
in general, no. They
Mm.
see you as intruders in their
Mhm.
land, which,
All right.
quite frankly, you are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's not wrong.
Okay. So there is no lost love.
No.
Yes. No. Okay. So I quickly grab an arrow, and it's one of those really thick arrows. If you remember the first Lord of the Rings, when the Uruk shot Boromir, yeah, one of those
Yep.
heavy arrows. I put it on the bow, and I
Nice. Okay.
try to shoot. Yeah. Take aim and let go of the arrow. Yeah.
Cool. So let's do another roll for that.
Sorry. So what do I roll? Is that still 2? Let's see.
Yep, that's 2, and then
Adaptation.
you can throw in a dark die if you want.
Yeah, I'll do that. It's fun.
Tempting fate.
Yes. Ooh.
Oof. Wow. Cool. So you fire this arrow off,
Mhm.
and it just plants right into this barbarian. And there's not even a scream. You would expect that there would be, but this just, there's like an eerie silence actually as you hit this person, and then there is a collapse as this colossus just falls into a collection of branches and dirt and grass, just collapses to the ground. This what was essentially a being with arms and legs is now just a pile of dirt on the ground. And the barbarian is on the ground in this mass and unmoving.
So, I put another arrow on the bow, on the string.
Okay.
And then I just carefully takes a few steps out into the open and just see, are there more coming after? Or
You don't hear any. No.
no?
You don't see any.
So, yeah. I'm taking a few steps closer to this pile of greenery, or and just to inspect. Has it really fallen by this? Is it just a simple mind trick? No,
It's a good question.
Yeah, investigate
it. As far as you can tell, it is done. Like there is nothing here. It's basically like there's just a pile of leftover debris. Like it's not even in a humanoid shape anymore. This creature just completely unraveled. You approach the barbarian, who is laying face down with an arrow straight through its throat.
Oh, okay.
And because so I was going to say, and because I was fairly confident that this would work because of what I knew, I've already stomped into the camp, give you a little bit of a glare for falling asleep, and I'm packing up my stuff already.
I'll growl a bit for my own stupidity and for risking our little group. Really, very stupid of me.
Our loot, man, our loot. Aside from our lives, all our stuff. 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, Mahira is concerned about the swag. I'm taking down our actual camping stuff, our tents, and getting that rolled up. Still very hastily, right?
I'll follow that as soon as I. Yeah.
Do you do any other inspection on the body, or do you just make sure it's dead?
I'll check him. I'll check him out. I'll just hold my bow and my arrow with one hand, and I'll turn him around and look what I can make out of his face or his mask. Or
so you flip this body over, and it's wearing a mask, a simple wooden carved mask. The mask itself is nothing more than like a couple eye slits, and rather than just like an angry face or like a slit face, it actually has a smiley face on it, which is wrong. And but it otherwise has just some simple weapons, like it has like a staff and a simple bow and arrow. Nothing that's any better. You guys have far superior equipment, but it has nothing else on its person.
Have you seen this mask? I've never seen one before like this. Look at the grin. I'll hold it up for them to see. As
you pull the mask off, for a split second, the face on the barbarian looks surprisingly similar to Gadrame's face.
What?
And then you sort of look again, and it's just a normal kind of vaguely, like maybe in the dark you could see the similarity, but it's not. It's clearly not him.
So I guess I stumble a bit with the words. Like, have you seen this this mask's grin? What was that? Never mind. Have you seen like one of these before?
I'm gonna go take a look at it and see if I recognize it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really give it a second glance or anything. I like shoulder the pack, and like already move past them.
Yeah.
So,
do I roll for that?
I'm just going to give you a little bit of info.
Okay.
So you know this mask to be, so the area that you're in is ruled by a notable barbarian tribe called the Godinyas, and they are known for making masks. It's pretty common for them. That's just what they do. There are some rumors actually that they have some deep tie to the elven parties that live around here. You've heard stories that sometimes the elves themselves wear masks, but it's not, there's really nothing in particular. It doesn't jump out at you. It's like, oh yeah, of course we're gonna find a mask here.
It is a creepy ass mask.
It is a creepy ass mask.
And it does send a shiver down my spine, because that smile is just not right.
So the three of you continue to pack up your equipment. You get your tents rolled up. You get any kind of stray items that you would have laying around packed up, and you are moving again. Vardern, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Where are we heading to? Have we got a particular... Are we just kind of doing a sweep through the forest, hoping to hit like ruins and stuff like that? Was there a particular place that we're heading to?
So, you are moving towards a particular place. So, Vardern, you have a connection, maybe someone from your old life who is actually the one who gave you the tip for this journey. He, we'll say his name is Baramo. Baramo told you of a particular set of ruins that had not been accessed yet. How he knew about this, he didn't really get into. He simply handed you a map, and most interestingly, he handed you an explorer's license. So in order to even be navigating through these woods, you would need a permit, essentially, to move around. As I mentioned, the queen herself has been posting guards up. She has her own set of rangers who kind of maneuver through the woods and kick out anyone who doesn't have the right to be there. This permit, this license that he gave you, was good for a party of up to 5 people. And the most notable thing about it was that the worth of it was essentially equivalent to the cost of a farm. So a whole farm was likely sold, or someone granted money to this person to get a license of this value. And the fact that he just handed it to you with a map was probably shocking. So why did you take it? Why did you decide that this was worth going on and worth risking your life for?
I think I've heard a rumor about some ancient rite that could sort of rid the forest of evil or something like that. That could provide me with political leverage, or sort of like more influence when it comes to working my way up in the.
Nice. So are you?
So I'm looking for this ritual. I think this, or something.
In
like
what
that.
way are you interested in kind of moving up in the ranks? Like, what do you mean politically? Like, what are you aiming for?
Okay, yeah, all right. I'm looking like if there are permits that's needed for do some treasure hunting, I guess there are sort of some sort of bureaucracy or some sort of administrative councils or something like that, which orchestrates different types of certificates and stuff like that, or just what do you call it, like rights to do treasure hunting. Yeah. So I guess there is some sort of both, not maybe political work, but not in a political sense, but more like apply influence on the right people.
Okay.
I mean, he's a thug, so I guess he has some sort of ruffian background, and he is not so well versed in dealing with these kind of people. So maybe he thinks with the right sort of pressure, he can elevate himself in the circles of these people. Like I'm not sure if these are magistrates or some sort of counselors or something more that. So I guess one of my dreams would be sort of to become a famous treasure hunter and find a lot of riches, basically.
Yeah.
So I guess this
Nice.
would be a mean of reaching that.
Yeah. So this essentially catered to your own desire to do well for yourself, right? Like here's a golden opportunity. You've been given this essentially lump of cash and some rumors about where a specific ritual is located that might sway some higher ups to treat you more favorably.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did we find out why the guy wasn't going himself? Why he was handing it off to us?
Not sure. I don't think so. He gave it to me and just left. So maybe with a note or something like that.
Yeah, nice.
So this old friend, maybe I've done some in my early years that did some confidentially talk with this guy, and he sort of knew my dream. This is where was a part of my dreams, my personal goals or something like that.
Nice. I think also maybe you probably, he owed you one, like you did something to get his back at some point, and this was one of his ways of wanting to repay you, perhaps.
Okay. Yeah.
Obviously the three of you are journeying together. how did so Vardern, you found this out, you got this information. How did you decide to bring these two with you? Like, what was your impetus for pulling these two along?
I don't know anything about magic, for start, or I have not studied. I haven't read a book, probably. I maybe know how to read or do some basic arithmetics. Yeah. But I can't read a book. So to find this lore, I need someone. And I met Mahira in some sort of wayward inn or something, or out to the great city where we which we left.
Yeah,
And,
I think
yeah.
I think you probably got me out of a bad round of cards. Like I was just about to get killed for not being able to. Like I was sure I had this round of cards down, and then I lost, and I didn't have the money to back it up, and they were about to kill me, and then you helped me, and then we kind of got talking about that, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I can help you with that, and also I probably ought to get out of town for a little while and head into the forest.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we needed a tracker, of course, someone who knew the forest.
So, Gadramay, what was your interest in going on this journey, this expedition?
Mainly to disappear for a while. The cult I was entangled with, I think they actually... so there was this idea that we could lure whatever beasts are out in the Davokar forests, that we could lure them in and tame and master them or something like that, which went obviously horribly wrong and is definitely completely illegal and goes against any of the Queen's standing orders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think I survived that encounter, and afterwards just wanted to escape the inquisitive Queen's Guard about that whole situation.
Nice.
And took basically the first opportunity I got to get back out into the forest.
Nice. So I think you guys actually maybe did draw something into the city. So the city that you left from is called Thistlehold. It's sort of a border town that is the jumping off point for a lot of would-be treasure hunters. And I think this ritual that you were trying to do to draw some beasts into the forest actually worked, and you pulled something into the city. What happened? Like, what did you draw into the city that caused so many problems?
I think it was a pack of shadow beasts.
And what do they do?
They rampaged through like
Nice.
a couple of blocks, like
just tearing
just
people limb from limb and destroying
arbitrarily,
houses and
vanishing in shadows again, coming out and pouncing on someone, and that situation at least lasted until like the next daybreak. By that time, I already knew like
you're already making your plans, packing up your bag. Yeah. Nice.
Exactly.
And did you? So obviously you escaped from this cult, but presumably there are still some cultists out there who are maybe looking for you. Do you feel like you are being hunted, or do you think you got away?
Yeah, I have this weird inkling, because I think what happened is we thought that the ritual didn't work, and we were on the way back into the city. That's how the beasts got into the city, by like tracking us.
Oh, nice.
And we realized too late, right? And I'm not sure if I'm like only fleeing from the guards now, or if the beasts actually first and foremost wanted to hunt down everyone who compelled them to come out of out of wherever they may come from.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, were you pulled into this work because you already had this experience with summoning? Is that how you got connected to the cult, or was that something that you learned as a part of being in this?
No. I was already a capable ranger, and got pulled into that because of that.
Okay.
So, because what we actually did was to a weird mixture out of we not just summoning with like a summoning circle and use like you would summon demons, but it's more of we need to create a enticing and luring scenario. So it has kind of a tendency how you also would treat beasts, and at least that's his understanding thus far into summoning, right?
Yeah,
it's more about luring them in than like by the power of your will commanding them to come forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a door they step through. It's a trap they're drawn toward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Cool. That's awesome. Okay. So the three of you are packed. You are moving through the forest. It's strangely quiet. It is. You are used to hearing maybe the sounds of maybe the occasional bark of some sort of a wolf-like creature, or you maybe would hear birds nestling in the trees. And as you've moved deeper into the forest, you are hearing less and less sound. It hasn't gotten any darker, though. So some of the rumors that you've been hearing are that, obviously, that as you get deeper into the forest, there is no light. But it's actually surprisingly luminous. There are pockets of just brilliant daylight shining through, and if not for the silence, this would be perfect. Like, you could settle down here and maybe build a cabin and live out your days here.
Have we been this far into the forest before?
You haven't. No.
Okay.
You like, as I mentioned, you were mostly sticking to the kind of perimeter, and now you're moving a little bit deeper in.
Do we know anything about these areas? Have we heard other rumors or tales describing these areas, or is it just?
So you got a bit of information from Baremo. He told you that you would know you were in the right spot when essentially you're moving into the middle of the forest, and way off in the distance are a set of mountains. And he said you would know you were near the right spot when you saw the sun setting between two mountain peaks. And you haven't quite seen that yet, but you feel as though you might be getting close to the right spot. Particularly when you start to notice some stones around the ground. So you start to see some essentially like pieces of column, things that were clearly made by man. Rocks that look like they're not from here. Like you start to see some dark black green stone, maybe like a marble or something similar, that looks to be hand milled. And as you're moving, you see a small door, almost like not a proper door, not something that a human would walk through, but like a chest almost built into the ground, like an opening, a small portal, something that you could lift up that's covered with like a stone slab. It doesn't look like what you had seen at the previous ruin. The previous ruin was, as I mentioned, fully destroyed. There was not much left there. But something about this feels ancient. Mahira, what do you notice on this stone slab that is surprising to you?
Sorry, I noticed that there are runes on the slab, sort of like circling around it in a kind of spiral, and they start off very ancient, but as they go on towards the center of the spiral, they look like they've been carved more and more recently. So it looks like people have been adding to this over time, and it looks like the ones at the kind of the center of the spiral have been added in the last day or two. They're still fresh, and I slide my finger across it and get kind of like the marble dust still on it from how fresh it is.
Nice. That's so good. You actually find a few of the implements around as well, things that were used to carve this, and they are they're very modern, very contemporary, things that you might find in some of the best stoneworking shops in Thistlehold. And they're just laying strewn about, almost as if they were abandoned there. Yep, Thistlehold. Järnringen, what do you notice that unnerves you about this scene?
I think what unnerves me is the I can't really tell, right? So this is a portal. It's kind of protruding a bit out of the ground.
Right.
Right. And I've been keeping my, just because what happened, right? I've been keeping my eyes out for any shadows. This thing is throwing, like, yes, it's not like in completely illuminated or anything like from one direction, but I'm like, it looks like as if it's, I can't tell in which direction it's casting its shadow. Kind of looks like in all of them, like as if the ground is a little bit darker around it. So, and because I can't put my finger on it, I also don't say anything. I'm just looking at it, worried as Hira is kind of inspecting it closer. I'm definitely nervous.
Järnringen, it looks like people were here recently. Can you tell how recently?
Yeah. I take a step closer and look over your shoulder and see what you're pointing. Right, you have the fresh dust on your fingers, and I'll try to take a closer look around in the nearby area.
So yeah, go ahead and make a roll, essentially just to scour the area and see if you have any sense of traces of movement or activity, other activity.
Yeah. So question here is, does traps play into this? There's no direct tracking.
Yeah, I would say this is still like a ranger type thing. Yeah, traps and tracking all kind of fit together. Yeah.
So that's 2 dice, and I'm gonna take a dark die as well because I'm unnerved.
Oof.
That's a dark 6.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm gonna have you make your corruption roll in just a second, but so what you notice are You find these implements that were used to carve this. You notice some underbrush that's been like kind of stepped on or moved through. You can tell from the breaks in the plants that this is relatively new. Mahira had thought that maybe these were carved within the last day or two. You have a sense that they were maybe carved within the last few hours, actually. That this is very fresh. And
yeah, like I think we maybe get the close up of some soft soil where there's kind of an imprint, and only now like there's like moisture seeping in, right? So it's like, well, that's only like if someone very recently stepped here.
yeah.
And you definitely see me immediately like head go up and start looking around. Like there might be still around.
Yeah, so you tell them that this just happened. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I do the same. I sort of swipe the perimeter, and jumps up on a stone that protrudes through the bushes, just to make sure that no one is watching us nearby, to what we can see at least.
You look out into the woods, Ardern, and very, very briefly, out of the corner of your eye, along your left-hand side, you think you see a mask, and then it dips behind a tree.
Maybe they are out there. What kind of creatures have done this, or are keeping this place fresh? Well, Mahira, have you read anything about this before?
Well, they used chisels, so I'm going to guess at humans. But what did you see?
I'm not sure. But I think I saw a mask behind the trees over there. But no, maybe I'm wrong.
Let's make sure you're not wrong. Wrong could easily equal us being dead. I'm going to have a look up at the mountains, because you said there was a mountain range and that we'd be in the right place when it was the summit in between two mountains. Now I'm assuming, because it's quite early in the morning, so we won't get that, but I'm going to try and figure out if we're in the right place once the sun would be over there.
Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So we'll do that in just a second. So Gadrame, do you want to make your corruption roll now? Is that a 2? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, it's a 2. So lucky.
Which is safe. Okay, cool. So Mahira, go ahead and make a roll to determine if you are in the right spot or not.
Yeah. And I'm going to add a dark light to that, because why not?
Yeah. Okay.
It's a 4.
Cool. Yep. Nice. Based on your understanding of kind of how the sun is moving and where you are directionally, you have a sense that this is probably pretty close to the right area. Like you feel like, yep, this has got to be it. You also haven't seen much man-made, especially not in this kind of, not this old, close to you for a while now. And you feel like maybe you're deep enough in that this feels like, yep, you're probably in the right spot.
Yeah, okay. I think this is the place, and I am going to try and figure out how we get this portal open, because I think this is where we have to go down.
Yep, nice. Okay,
Meanwhile, I'm swiping the tray. I'm like moving in a circle around us, while Mahira and Gadramai, is it?
Gadramai?
Gadramai, yeah.
But I think we might be like communicating we're signs, but that we're moving like that.
Yeah.
So that we're both taking care of this.
Yeah, the two of you make sure that the perimeter is clear from barbarians or whoever about this, and I will try and get this thing open because I think it's going to require because of the carvings that's in it. I think it's going to require some sort of like some sort of, not sorcery, but some sort of like ritual to get it open, in addition to just any sort of brute strength to move it apart.
Yep. Okay, cool. So the two of you who are wandering the perimeter at the moment, Vardern, you see something move through the woods.
Hey, something's there.
I'm assuming you have your bow drawn at this point.
Yeah.
You probably have a shot at something, whatever it is, if you wanted to take it. You don't know what it is though, so you could proceed to move closer potentially.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. I don't waste arrows if I don't know what it is. Yeah. So I'm sneaking away a bit, I think.
Yep.
Behind some big mossy rocks. Yeah.
Take a few steps back. You look off in the distance, and you definitely see another mask.
When you say mask, do you mean a person with a mask, or is it something floating? Yeah, all right.
Yeah. A masked person.
All right. Okay.
Yes. But what you see is the mask. Like that is what is very apparent to you. Very similar style. Peering at you and smiling at you from behind the trees. And it notices you and ducks off. And then you see it begin to run. And Gadramay, you hear this running and rustling through the woods as well. So you guys were kind of approaching the perimeter kind of this way, right? And this person is maybe kind of close to Vardern over here and starts running this direction. So both of you can see this kind of rustling and running now as well.
Yeah, I'll try to cut them off, as Vardern is definitely probably the more noticeable threat, and try to work with them together to corner whoever it is.
Okay.
Trying to keep eye contact with Gadramay.
You get close to this entity, this person, and they're making a full dash through the woods now, but you can see them and are able to track them and follow them along. And both of you are in pursuit of this person. Okay. So I'm going to let you guys chase after him for a second. Mahira, you are left alone in the woods with this slab.
I look up to see where the others are, and they're gone.
Yeah.
And like, shit. And then look around and try and get back to it, and then just keep looking up and in between the slab and the perimeter.
And at what point do you see the set of 3 masks in the woods?
The set of 3 masks. Oh god. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I don't look up and notice they're gone immediately. What happens is I'm working on this translation that I need to get the slab open, and I realize that unless this doesn't work in the fiction, I realize that I've got it done, and then I look up to where the other guys should be, and instead of them, I just see the 3 masks kind of staring in at me from the edge of the forest line.
Perfect. You get the translation done. You realize what you need to do to open the door, which is
Mhm.
fairly minimal, actually. It's just carving an additional ruin. What you notice in the carving is that the last carving was maybe half complete.
Okay.
And so you just need to finish the carving, and you can easily open it up. Shouldn't be a problem. As you finish, do you finish the carving though to open it, or do you just realize what you need to do?
No, I think I realized what I need to do, and actually, it's when I reached for the chisel that I saw abandoned on the floor. That's when I look up and I see the three faces.
Nice. Okay. So these three barbarians, sans colossi, just barbarians, are moving towards you with small daggers, and maybe one has a bow aimed at you, and they're moving towards you.
Okay. I am going to. Do they speak a different language, or do we speak the same language?
They might speak Ambrian, or it's possible that you know a little bit of Barbarian to be able to speak to them as well. Yeah.
I am going to put my hands up and say, "My friends, welcome. I mean no harm." In their language, if I can.
Okay. Nice. They move closer to you, and they're caked in mud, and there's a sweat on them that is permeating the space, and they draw right up to you without saying a word.
Okay.
They're all wearing the same style of mask. And slowly, as they get towards you, one of them reaches for the chisel, which I think is still in your hand, or did you drop it?
No, I think that's still in my hand.
Oh, you were okay. Yeah. Yep,
yeah. I was reaching for it, and I picked it up, and I will be like, I will give that to him.
Okay.
And I will use that to kind of, because my hands were up in the air, now I've kind of put them down to give them to him. Yep. And I've used that to, as casually as I can, reach down to where my dagger is.
Okay, nice. So you grab your dagger.
I've just got like my hand near it. I've got it ready to go, basically.
Ready in case you need to pull it out.
Yeah.
And one of them, the one who grabs the chisel, takes it and kind of jams it into the portal, into the slab, rather.
Okay.
And not damaging it, just kind of like sticking it there. But he does it with a force that lets you know that, I mean, if he's able to take this chisel and just slam it into this stone slab, he has quite a bit of strength. Probably
that would make a mess of my skull.
Yes, yeah. He says, I knew you would be here. He speaks actually in a perfect Ambrian accent.
Okay.
We had a dream that you would come.
What else did the dream say?
In my dream, I saw 3 serpents. One the color of bronze, one the color of silver, and one the color of copper.
Well, as you see, it's just me here, so I'm gonna. I mean, a dream can be prophetic, but then this doesn't sound as accurate at all. Unless you're the serpents, and I don't think you talk about yourself as serpents.
You think we are foolish enough to have not seen your fellows run off?
Well, I was hoping you were foolish enough to not see my fellows run off. Yeah.
Oh, you stupid plunderer! Do you have any idea what lurks inside here?
fortune and glory?
Oh, you foolish child. He tips his mask up, and he is definitely of barbarian stock, but is quite old, much older than you would have imagined given his build. He says, "This is no place for you. You should get your friends and you should leave. You should leave right now."
And if we don't?
Then we will kindly escort you out.
And a call for the others. Faradin? Sorry, Matthias, what's your character's name?
Garame?
Garame, I think we should be leaving now.
So the two of you had been running after this person. You actually catch up to him and manage to maybe tackle him to the ground. And then you hear Mahira calling.
Is this figure armed?
No.
No.
In fact, he's fairly young, like maybe a 12 or 13-year-old boy.
Mm-hmm. I'll who's tackling him?
That's up for you guys to decide how you wanna wrangle him to the ground.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah. All right. When we hear Mahira, he sort of lies on top of this young man and lifts him up by the neck and a wrist, like, "You coming back with us?" And then we sort of moves quickly backwards, I guess, back to.
Nice.
How far have we come?
You're dragging this barbarian boy with you as you head.
So making an improvise, taking the bow with one hand and him in the neck with the other hand. Something like that. If it works, yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. You get back, and as you approach the clearing where you found this slab, you see Mahira essentially surrounded by 3 barbarians. They all have their weapons kind of drawn at her. Well, 2 of them do, and one of them is essentially like just talking to her, interrogating her.
Listen, here is one of your kin. Releasing the young man in the mud, like throwing him in front of our feet.
Okay. He tumbles to the ground and then kind of scurries up and runs off to his fellows. And this old barbarian man says, "Are we leaving now?"
Is he asking us that?
Yeah, it's not really an ask.
Yeah,
right,
we are absolutely leaving. We will leave you be with your delightful masks and this lovely stone, and we will go, and you will not see us again. You have my word.
What are you saying, Mahira? What is this?
I elbow him in the ribs to shut up.
My head. No! Don't do this! Don't do this!
Like, clearly, okay. We don't know what happened here. Mahira has probably some kind of plan, so I'm trying to get Warren to.
I'm not believing my ears. So, like,
it's barely a plan, but I do.
Yeah.
Nice.
Haven't seen
okay,
it,
so the 3 of you, I'm assuming, are sort of packing up your stuff but feigning leaving. I'm curious as to what you have in
Yeah,
mind, Mahira.
that was my plan, is that we say we're going to leave, we wait until they stop watching us, and then we just come back.
Yeah.
That's no one has ever had that plan before.
No, right, exactly. It's like I said, it's like 12% of a plan. But yeah, I'm gonna hope that they've not come across this before. And
well, here's an idea maybe to, and we could pass that along, or if this is the movie, then it's like, why are the protagonists just letting go so easily, right? And the idea is that we actually really stumble like our way back. So not making much headway. We set up camp for the night, and then the tents are empty, and we're sneaking back in the night, doubling back, something like that. Nice. Yeah.
Are there like stuffed body, like pretend bodies inside the tents?
Yeah, there's like a fire was going.
Yeah. Nice.
Some glowing embers, but no one inside.
So let's say you make it back. Assuming this is the plan. Yes, everyone is on board with this. You make it back to the slab shortly before sunset. At least enough so that you can tell, like, oh, yep, this is the right spot. Maybe you wait a little bit beyond that until it's actually dark.
I think we would have to, because otherwise they're just going to be waiting there until
see you. Yeah. Okay. So we'll say that it's definitely well past. Like maybe it's somewhere in the 2 a.m. range when you approach the slab, and the chisel is still left in the slab. So are you going to complete the carving now?
Yeah, I think so. And as I'm doing it, I do say to the other two without looking up. So they seem very wary of what was down here, and I'm sure it's just barbarian superstition, and that it's just nothing but milk and honey down there. But just in case they were right, let's be ready. And then I blow with "let's be ready," blow the dust off, and trace my finger around the spiral, which opens the.
Nice.
We'll be ready. We'll be ready.
The portal opens fairly easily, like just kind of slides open, and it's warm. Like you sort of expected that maybe it would be cold and dank or just still and dry, but there's a warmth to it. And there are a set of stairs, and you see a glint of light actually at the bottom, which could be just maybe moonlight reflecting off of something shiny down there. It's not flickering. It's not like a fire. But you see something shining down there.
Okay. I'm assuming I'm the least handy in a fight, so I will be the torchbearer. But I'll wait until we're down there before I light up, in case they're sort of like waiting for, because I assume we were navigating by moonlight up until this point. Yeah. And I'll wait until we go down there before lighting the torch, in case the barbarians are watching for a torch to be lit.
Nice. Okay. So who's taking the lead then?
I'll take lead as I'm torchbearer, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll take your rear guard.
Okay.
How wide is the passage?
You could easily fit 2 to 3 people side by side.
Okay.
So yeah. So you could all be in a row, or you could kind of be a little staggered, like kind of diagonally, to fill up the space. And
I'll prepare my bow and put my hammer on my back. I won't need it down there, and I can assist both in both directions if need be.
Nice. Okay. Let's actually, why don't we take like 5 minutes right here just to take a little water break, bio break, and come back shortly. Sound good?
Sure. Awesome. See ya.
How you feeling, Matthias? Going okay?
Yep, it's fun.
Cool.
I mean, we had to do that, right? The horror movie trope of leaving someone alone that we shouldn't leave.
Yeah, it was perfect. Are you playing any other games this weekend?
No, so Monday is off, right? And then I'm running Hack on Planet. So I still need to get the actual text from Fraser, though. It'll be fine. I think I'm feeling fairly comfortable with Blades in the Dark. So.
Yeah, nice. Who are you running it for?
I think Christian is part of the group as well. Yeah, Christian, Mikael, John Edward, and Ryan McNeil.
Oh, nice.
Only played with Christian before.
Fun.
All right. Sorry for the delay.
Oh, no worries. We're still waiting on Oli too.
All right.
So not a problem.
Okay.
And yesterday,
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yesterday I had the pleasure of running the Deep Forest for a group of all-time newbies.
Nice.
Right? The first.
What'd they think?
They really enjoyed it. They loved it. Yeah.
Fun.
Cool.
Nice.
So that's really, really awesome. Like, right? Like getting to be that for someone is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they sounded like they wanted to play again sometime, and so that's good. Good sign.
Good sign. Good sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a good? Did you feel like it was a good introductory game for them then?
Yeah. So my thoughts were, okay, so you don't have like a huge responsibility of, am I playing this character correctly? Right. We're all collaborating.
Yep.
And it's very wide and open, and it's also where everybody's on the same level. Like there's not someone with like a special position of authority, which looks it looks like that if you have a GM game, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of chose it as well, like to give them an introduction.
Is that the silent year hack or something like that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. It's where you play the quiet year, but it's kind of turned around. The humans have been driven off, and you're a small community of monsters. You try to reclaim the land. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. Fun. Cool. Okay, so the three of you are descending these stairs. It's strangely warm. It is not that far down, actually. There are maybe only a couple dozen stairs. You have your torch set up in front of you, and you see a pile of coin just sitting on the ground. So that was what was glinting from above. These are clearly old coins. They have words on them that you don't understand, kind of a cuneiform style writing, which is odd, but not out of the ordinary for kind of the time of Symbar, like very ancient.
How far into the tunnel have we gotten at the minute?
Not very far. You're maybe only 50 paces in or so.
Okay, because I've just had this thought that the barbarians are probably gonna, if they come and find the portal open, just probably shut it down on us again. So I was gonna go back and kind of move it most of the way across, but leave like I don't know if I have a spare dagger just kind of like wedged in there so it can't be shut all the way, so that we could maybe price it
Perfect.
open again.
We'll say you did that already. That's fine. No problem.
Cool.
So you see this pile of coin. It's maybe 20, 30 coins. Like, not a lot, but like, you know, a chunk, and probably worth taking with. And they are, the interesting part about it is the arrangement. They are spaced in 3 lines, and there is something kind of like charred in between the lines, like something that was clearly destroyed and left in between these lines.
I would like to attempt a ritual, because I have a ritual which can tell me stuff about destroyed items, if that's okay.
Yes, please do it. So this is a regular roll. You're just one of your rituals. So go ahead and tell me what you're doing.
And I'll just check. Know the past of a destroyed item. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm getting 1 in for that, 1 in for sorcerer, and 1 dark die.
I'm already commenting. Yeah.
I got a 6.
Oh,
nice. That's perfect. Okay.
What were you like? This is just a bad idea, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I was already commenting as you like probably crouch down to take a closer look without touching them, though. But I'm like, I mean, we can just grab these on the way back. Maybe leave them for now.
But I start talking in a language that you don't, or you might understand actually, because you have the ritual. But I start talking in a strange language and just kind of like tracing my finger across it, just a little bit away from, like, as you say, hovering over it.
Nice. Vardern, you are not accustomed to magic. You've probably only seen maybe a few parlor tricks in your time.
Mm-hmm.
So what does this look like to you? Like, how do you feel while this is happening?
Oh, I feel a little bit disturbed and worried. And even though I'm a tall, scarred thug, it really makes me uneasy. And I nervously start to finger my hammer on the back. Like I'm still holding my bow, right? But I just want to reassure myself that I have what I need to get away if need be.
Nice.
So like I'm certain
if I get suddenly possessed.
I mean, you did roll a 6, so you know, it's on the table. So you, so Mahira, you are doing this ritual. As you're passing your hand over it, only you can see this, but you are getting sort of visions of it's like you're almost watching this in reverse, like the pieces kind of coming back together so you can see what was there. And the pieces are sort of reforming, this ash is kind of coming back together, and it was burnt, like you're seeing a fire. There are these 2 fires in between these row of coins. You don't really get an image of what was happening around that. Like, it's not like you're seeing back in time and you don't see the activity. But you see this object kind of piecing itself back together. Gadrame, what is the worst thing that this could be?
Okay, stopped me. We don't want to go there.
X card is on the table. I didn't say all that. X card is on the table, right? Yep. Okay, go ahead.
And I won't go into gruesome detail, but I think it's the shape of human legs. But the coins are so close together, and right, and these are just a couple of stacks that you mentioned, that it need to be small human legs, and you can infer from there.
Yeah.
But it's just the legs, yeah?
Yes.
That's all
That's
you're
so
seeing
gross.
anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gadrime, one more question. How similar is this to the ritual for summoning shadow beasts?
There's a parallel to it in the sense of we had to do something with eyes.
With eyes.
Yeah. So there was a bag that was prominently featured, never really shown camera full on it, but yeah.
Verdun, we never talked about why you're called the Scarred.
Oh, that's true.
Is there any particular reason or particular part of your body that is scarred?
Yeah, his face, and his upper torso. He was captured. During his early years as an orphan, he grew up in gangs, moving around the lower parts of Thistlehold. And during these times, they created and pickpockets and so on. And those small gangs turned later into more hardened groups of weapon brothers in arms and so on. And he was in one of the gangs working for a smuggler or something like that. And when the tides were turning and they lost their standing, they were chased down and captured and tortured, more or less. Like, he didn't think he would survive, but he did for some reason. We're glad to have some input.
And did you, as you see this ritual happening, you're reminded of a moment of torture, like when you actually the last time you were tortured before you got away. The last threat made against you was that you would lose your eyes. And you can actually remember and feel the blade still pressed against your face before you got away.
Blade. Yeah. White hot blades.
And you look over at Gadrime and you are reminded of something about him. There's a familiarity to him. Obviously, this happened too long ago. Like, it wouldn't have been Gadrime himself, but you see something about him that reminds you of that experience.
Oh, I stagger back. Like, oh, wait. What are you doing? What's this all about?
I think the detail that it could be is, right, it's really hot down here. Sort of like rolled up sleeves. That's like just a natural thing that's happened.
Yeah.
You see like the same kinds of marks on my right forearm that you remember from your time there, right?
From the torture or from being on the receiving end?
Like the cult has the cult has a brand or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you see the brand on his arm.
But I assume when you say, what's all this about, I assume you're talking about what I'm doing. So, because I haven't picked up on this, and I said, it's what you're paying me for, darling. And then I say, but sad Though I am loath to admit it, I think the barbarians may have been right. There is something not right down here. Let's get out of here as quickly as we can. But let's not leave without getting our prize. And I'm already going onwards. And what the others don't see, although I do, is that I'm stifling back a like vomit, basically, because that was so gross to see that kind of reform and burn and everything like that. So I just got to, but I don't let them see that.
Nice.
And I carry on.
I think that would call for a corruption roll, actually, Mahira. So just roll one. So Mahira just needs to make roll a single die.
Let's have a look at that. That is That is very much new corruption.
Nice.
My corruption
so
is now 4.
You're up to 4.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Vardern, would you say you were terrified with this memory?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think that's a corruption roll for you as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just roll a single die.
A single die. I'll roll the dark one. 4.
Yep, which is higher than your corruption, so you also are going to mark 1.
Okay.
And it
So
says
mark 1 corruption.
Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying, Oli?
I would finish with Christopher first. Christian, sorry, first.
No worries. Should I mark 1 corruption?
Yes. So you go up. You go up by 1. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Because you were at 1 previously. Yeah.
I was going to say that it says it warps your body and mind. So does something noticeable happen to me?
And that is my question: is
okay.
How does this manifest itself on you?
Okay, I can't see this because it's dark down here. But I've got I put my hands in some of the ash as I was doing this, and the ash starts to move up my arm and starts to kind of like make spiral patterns, and it's making some of the same like spiral rune patterns that were on the slab at the top. Only if I were to notice them later and try and dust them off, even though they still look like ash, I can't get them off.
Nice. Cool. That's great. Okay, so you are moving forward through this tunnel, and the other 2 are following, correct?
Yeah, I swiftly move up behind me here.
Yeah, and I think I was disturbed by this as well, so I'm moving off faster than I should, because as torchbearer I should keep no more than a couple of paces in front of everyone else, so everyone can see. But I'm just kind of like semi-running off down the corridor because I'm freaked out by this.
Yeah, and I don't want to get stuck in the dark.
No.
Gadrame, you were in the rear, right? Are you still holding up the rear?
No. When Vardern got startled and Mahira went off, I just followed Mahira like in an instant. Yeah.
And so at what point do you notice that you're running at like breakneck pace to keep up with Mahira?
I think at the point where maybe the slope changes and I almost stumble, right? And I need to support myself. I'm like, and I already see the light vanishing, and I think I call out, "Mahira, wait!" And but like actually pick up the pace instead of like slow down and have it be a demanding presence.
Nice. Vardern, you were in the rear then.
Mm-hmm.
All the light that you had is being sucked away off into the distance, and you are left there with a pile of coin.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I thought I was coming as well, but all right. No, that's right. I staggered back a bit. Yeah. Hey, Mahira. I just realized that my whispers won't do any good. So, and it's completely dark here, is it? And I see their lights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I start running after them.
Okay.
Like, I take some big strides over the piles of coins, and then I'm running for my life after them. But I also look back once or twice on the way to the next archway or something. When I pass that, I just head straight away to try to keep up
nice.
with the others.
So Mahira, you are well in front of these other two, and you're running with this light. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for? Are you're just bolting now?
Yeah, I just started moving as fast as I could away from where that ritual had happened. But now I'm looking for. Is it just a straight corridor? Is it a straight corridor going down? Is there any twists or turns?
There's a little bit of a decline to it, and it's not super windy. It's just you can tell that it's slowly descending. No stairs or anything, just a straight shot.
Okay, I am looking out for any other. I'm looking out for any other signs of rituals in a similar vein.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and I'm gonna slow down as I hear Gedme shout behind me for me to stop.
Yeah.
And I do realize quite how far I've gone ahead, and I kind of stop and wait for them. But I'm looking around whilst I'm waiting for them with my torch.
Nice. The moment at which you stop, immediately to your right is a small nook carved out of the wall, and it's kind of a portal shape, a circular shape, and you see marks all the way around it in sort of a spiral, but the closest ones start at the top, and then it kind of moves all the way, like it spirals around itself and then disappears off into somewhere that you can't see.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like it wraps around it, and then it like the spiral starts to go a different direction.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of gone out of the sight of the torch.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna trace it around. Also, what have I got? Like what I want now is just a little stick, but I don't know if I would have a little stick at all.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll say you have it. That's
okay,
fine.
cool.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna, or like a stiletto knife or something, and I'm gonna where you said that there were kind of indentations, and I'm gonna poke in and see how far in they go, and just make sure there's no sort of like darts or anything that's going to come out of here. And
yep. No, you can actually see inside there's a single portal with a spiral around it, right? As if the circle of this portal itself is the end of the spiral, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And it's about this big, like human head sized. And you look, and there's just a collection of dust again along the bottom, dust and ash along the bottom of it. But it's not deep. It's maybe only a foot deep or so.
Okay. Because you said human head sized, I am loath to do the ritual again. But Mahira has made that kind of same assumption, and so she's just gonna glance at it, not going to go near it, and I'm gonna follow the trail and see where that goes with my torchlight.
Nice. Okay, the other two of you catch up to Mahira and see her examining this portal and a spiral pattern that is currently winding from this portal up the ceiling, and you start to notice that the spiral itself wraps around the ceiling and comes down to the floor as it as the path that you're on kind of descends deeper.
So it comes around the other side.
So so essentially the spiral itself is wrapping around this path that you're on.
Oh, yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. What are we dealing with, Mira?
Nothing good. Blood sacrifice, deep magics. I'm beginning to wonder if there isn't some ritual hidden down here in a book or a scroll or something, and the whole place is ritual. There better be something good down here.
For sure, because we can't drag slabs of stone out of here.
I'm
No.
beginning to think we might not want to drag anything out of here. Nothing good has ever happened in this place. We should carry on, but we should be ready to run back very fast the other way.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to catch my breath. Coming up a short while after Mahira,
Yeah.
yeah, and what is this? Is this some sigil or what kind of spellcraft is this?
I'm sure it's nothing to be worried about. We should just carry on down here. Just have your sword arm ready. Just because you seem so freaked out by the previous magic, I don't want to worry you.
Vardern, at what point do you notice the sigil that looks exactly like the one that is carved onto Gadrame's arm?
What? Okay, so the sigil that goes around the.
Yep, you see little symbols in it, and at some point you start to notice that there are 3 of them in a connected loop that match the ones that are on Gadrame's arm.
Oh. Okay, I'm like, Gadrame. Let me see that, and I'm like touching his arm.
Are you okay with him touching your arm?
I'm like a little bit.
Yeah. At first, what is it? And
Your arm. Bring it out in the light. I'm like,
put you a little closer because I'm curious as to where this is going.
Yeah.
And I'm now like,
Look at this. Look at this here.
What's
and I'm
in my
like pointing
arm?
with my pinky towards the part. Where do you have it? Where do you have
I'm
it?
like looking worried at my arms as if like, what do I have a spider on here or something?
yeah.
So I'm holding them both out, like, and
Yeah.
symbols
You
of
see that?
spider before.
It was
You see that little one there? I'm like pointing towards a part of is it a tattoo or is it scars? Some scarification maybe?
Neither. I said, well, that's just a birthmark.
Birthmark? Look at this. And then I'm lifting Mahira's torch towards the roof where you can see the symbols a little bit more clearly. I'm like, look at that.
and Jesse, you said there were 3 spirals, yeah?
Yeah. Well, there are 3 symbols that he's seeing that match this spiral.
And I kind of mutter under my breath, 3 serpents. From what the barbarian said earlier, but you 2 didn't hear that, so I just say something really bizarre out of nowhere.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's just a strange coincidence, and like I'm already like pulling my sleeves back down on my arms.
Gadrame, these symbols that he's like pointing out on the wall they look nothing like the marks on your arm, just so you know.
Yeah.
So we're standing there and confused, I guess. Or at least Vardern is a bit confused. Like, what? I mean, you can see. Look again.
I think we ought to keep moving.
Mahir, you see this. Like, you are able to pick out what he is pointing at. You see the similarities there.
Oh, okay. So it's not that he's going mad. Okay.
No, it's both of you going mad.
Well, yes, that's entirely possible.
And I'm stuck with you.
And I go to examine them, but then in the light, I notice the marks that have come on my arm, and I pull the light away and pull my own arm away, and I'm like, I'm sure it's nothing. We'll just carry on.
Yeah,
This place does stuff to your mind.
You catch a peek at Mahira's arm and see those marks.
Mm-hmm. Do I?
Gadrame does. Sorry,
Okay,
Gadrame
okay.
sees it.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, no, let's just get this over with.
And I'm going off down the corridor again, and I say, "Try to keep up this time." Have I heard stories of people going mad in the forest and things like that?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Most definitely. Yeah. The people who come. So first of all, the people who come out of the forest come out one of two ways: very rich, or completely incomprehensible.
Mm. Right.
Lots of people just don't come back. So.
Okay, hoping for very rich. But at the same time, conscious that maybe this place is getting to my compatriots, so ready to turn and run on them at any point at this time.
Nice.
Well, not nice, but yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Good friends. Good friends. Okay, you follow the spiral a little deeper, and it continues to wind all the way down the path. And at some point, the spiral splits and branches and becomes 3 spirals that you're following down. And you get to an opening, a small opening, but there are 3 doors in front of you. Not quite doors, more just openings, 3 paths, 3 potential routes that you could take. And between the doors, between the openings on the 2 walls, there are other small portals about the size of heads again.
These man-made? Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to bend down and see if there is ash in them as well.
There is.
Great. Did the doors open at all?
Yes, they're just holes, essentially, paths to walk through.
Oh, okay.
3 archways. Okay. Yeah.
Trying to look around, like just getting up close to them, but not going over, like not going into any of them. If I can discern any differences in the 3.
Yep. So, Gadrame, you see a light in the middle one, off in the distance.
Hey, here. I think there's something down there.
Where?
Vardern, you see a light in the left one, but you don't see anything down the other 2. And Mahira, you see a light down the right one, but nothing in the other 2.
What sort of light is it?
In the middle.
Like a soft glow, like a golden glow.
It may be phosphorescent fungi or something, but it's... What are you talking about? It's coming from this one.
No, it's this one. Here, look.
And I'm standing between the 2, right?
I go all the way over and look. Is there anything at all down in the left-hand corridor?
No.
Look, I know what I can see.
Yeah, me too. I'm not sure what, but yeah. Should we really split up? No.
I think that would be an extraordinarily bad idea.
Yeah, right. Let's take my path down here. Let's take this one here.
I'd say we split the middle.
Hey, it's down here. It's down here. The treasure is. Promise you.
I am going to go with the biggest dude because he is the biggest dude, and he has a big ass hammer. But I think something is trying to split us up. I think there is something malignant down here that is trying to split us up. So maybe, I think we should, regardless of anything that, and I'm saying this more eloquently and less metagamey, but I think there's something that's trying to split us up, and whatever we see down here, I think we need to stick together. Okay, so I think it's going to show us things about each other that we may not like, but remember, it's all just, it's in our heads. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, it's playing tricks.
That's devious stuff.
It is. It's sorcery and dark magic. So be careful. If you happen to see anything that looks weird and sinister happening to me, remember, purely a trick of the light.
Okay.
Okay.
You first.
Okay. So, Verdern, you're going to walk through the left-hand path, and the other two are following. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And
I'm going to try and go last
Okay.
because I'm in a position of untrust with the other two right now.
I was thinking with the bow. How large is this pathway?
It's about 2 humans wide.
Okay, so
Yeah.
a big hammer won't be so usable down here.
Not super usable. No.
I'll stick with the bow then. Yeah.
So, Verdern, you enter this portal, this door, this path, and at the very end, which is not that far away, maybe the light seems to approach much more quickly than it otherwise should have. You see, well, you tell me, what is it that you dream would be down here? What would satisfy you?
Probably a positive surprise. Like I'm conjuring all these demonic inner imagery of how bad things will go down here, but like having a positive surprise, going down a flight of stairs, and then just an old burial chamber opens up with lit candles and sort of a burial treasure or something like that, without no beast or anything, but just like warmth and the goal, basically.
Nice. Okay, so it's essentially that vision minus the candles. Like there are no lit candles down here, but you arrive at what looks like a burial chamber. Like there is a sarcophagus in the center, completely gilded. There are goblets and mirrors and
small statues.
trinkets of the rich. Yeah, statues, just wealth, just piles and piles of wealth. There's no way that you can carry all of this out. But you see something that catches your eye. What is it?
It's sort of a scribe's casket. You say that?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, where you keep like really valuable parchments. Maybe it is the spell or the
the ritual that you're looking for.
The ritual, yeah, exactly.
Nice. So you find this gilt box.
Yeah, in ivory and stuff. It's beautiful.
And you open it up, and there are 3 scrolls within it.
Oh. How do they look? Like old or well kept?
They look old, but like they've been secured from the elements by this. Well, 1 by being in this chamber, and 2 by being in this box.
I'm starting to breathe heavily. I'm like, oh, it's here. Hey. I think I found it.
And the other
I believe what I see. I basically believe what I see.
Yeah.
I want to believe what I see.
Oh, it's real. Like you really see it. This is really what you see. And the other 2 of you really see this too. And you enter this chamber with riches. And are we going to lose Oli?
I think it's in.
Oh.
No, sorry,
Okay.
my wife just came in. I was just saying hi to my
Oh.
wife.
No worries. You look like you were like screaming at someone. I thought maybe we lost you and you're like, no, internet, what did I miss? Okay.
Screaming encounter. Yeah.
So the other two of you see this beautiful chamber filled with jewels and gold and ivory and statues and riches. And Verdun walks up to this box and opens it up and it starts hyperventilating.
Okay, I am going to go see what he can see.
Yeah. Mahira, you walk over and you see this small, beautiful golden ivory box that has 3 scrolls within it.
Okay, I am going to... Is there anywhere that I can put the torch down without it going out?
Yeah, we'll say there's like a
Or
a
I'll
little,
grab it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll set it in.
I kind of pop it in a holder in the wall, basically,
Nice.
because I don't want to bring a naked flame close to 3 very old parchments.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have a look at these and see if they make any sense to me.
Okay. Go ahead and make a roll
Okay.
with lore. And we'll say appraisal too, because this is valuable and
Cool.
definitely an antique.
Ooh, that is a dark 6.
That is, ooh, yeah, it is. Go ahead and make your corruption roll now.
Okay.
Oof.
Does it have to be over or equal to?
It has to be over. Yeah,
Okay, I'm okay then.
you're okay.
Ish.
Just barely.
Yeah.
So you are familiar with this. These scrolls are you've heard fables of some sort of ritual to remove the forest of its darkness. And there are some things here that feel true, like this might be it.
Okay, great. Let's start packing this stuff and getting out of here then, I guess. I don't expect it to be that easy, but that's what I'm hoping for. So I'm gonna, we're not gonna cast this ritual now. We're gonna take these out of here. We're gonna, as Varden planned, we're gonna use this to set ourselves up, because if we can rid the forest of its corruption, or we could rid the forest of its corruption without telling anyone, and then completely. There'll still be barbarians and stuff. Anyway, but yes, we need to get this back to civilization. But there's a bunch of like golden stuff down here as well. You're saying, yeah?
Yeah. Yep.
I think while like they were off in that corner, I was already stalking around the room, getting the sacks out for our loot to
Nice.
stow away in. But first, still like checking. Okay, no pressure plates. Like going through the things. If there's like, can we just clear room and get away?
Yeah. Tell me one thing that jumps out at you that you want to take with you.
That is what jumps out of me is there's a small little casket that I think it's actually opened up. The casket is not important. It might be well made, finely carved, but it's got gems inside, and the gems will be easier. Like it's worth more and less to carry than all the gold. It's
Nice.
harder to get rid of and turn into stuff, but it's yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you grab basically like a little bag full of jewels, or stuff them in one of your bags.
You're like
Yeah.
pricing them out with your dagger. You said that there were three tunnels. Are there 3 entrances to this room that we're in currently?
Nope, just the one.
If there's this much stuff in here, there might be an equal amount of stuff down the other tunnels.
Here's what's interesting. There should be doors. Based on the size and positioning of this room, those openings should be there. and you don't see them.
I am beginning to suspect that we are being messed with, and I am going to perform. I don't know if it'll work like this, but I've got the ritual command confession, which says force truthful answers, which I assume that you can mean it out of like people, but I'm wondering if I could use it in a sort of dispel illusions kind of a way as well.
Sure. Yeah. Let's try it.
Oh, okay. I know what I could do. I could ask one of them what they see, and if it's a truthful answer, they might say what they're actually seeing if they're not actually seeing this, if that makes sense.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So who are you going to cast it on?
I am gonna. Verdun, can I borrow over you here for a second?
Sorry, what? Yeah.
I
This
just
is while
need
you
to.
start hearing clattering of me putting stuff in the sack. Yeah.
Gadram's busy. I just need to. This is going to seem a little weird. I promise it is nothing. It's a well. This is a protection sigil to just make sure to give you good luck, that sort of thing.
Protection, yeah.
And I reach. Yeah. I reach into. I don't even know it was there, but I just reach over and there's another of those little circles with the ash in, and start drawing the ash like an ashen symbol on his forehead.
Nice. Okay. Perfect. So, Verdun, this mark is being drawn on your head.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the 3 marks that you felt on Gadrame.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell just from the outline of it that it's being drawn on your head right now.
What exactly are you doing now, Mira? What is this? What is
like
this?
I said,
I got a bad feeling.
Well, that's exactly the situation where you need a protection ritual. That's where you need the protection sigil on your forehead because you have this bad feeling.
If you cross me now, I promise you, there will be no place in Tistel Hole for you. But I remain still, and I'm like just putting in like a subtle threat. Not that subtle, but still like
No,
I'm trying to post my strength a little bit.
Yeah. Nice.
It doesn't have to be that subtle. You're quite a lot bigger than me. But my whilst I'm doing this with my one hand, my other hand is just going down to my dagger just in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm actually scared. So you can actually see me like I'm really tense, and I can't relax really when doing this. So it's like going to the dentist or something like that. Like
nice.
I got a 5.
You got a 5 on your dark die or just on the light die?
Just on the regular die. But I think it might be more interesting if I fail here.
Yes, I wanted to.
Oh.
So I'm going to roll another die and see how that goes. No, I don't. I still succeed.
You make it. Okay. Okay. Cool. I like that you self-compelled that. Nice.
And then when it's done, I do say to is it Gadrame? Verdun, sorry.
Gadrame? Yeah.
Verdun, what do you see? What do you really see?
What do you mean? Simple man. So, what?
Jesse, does he say anything else other than what we can all see right now?
Nope.
Okay.
He says exactly the same thing that the both of you see. Yep.
Good. And I give him kind of like a friendly kind of like a friendly slap on the cheek. Good.
What protection? Is this what you call protection? What is this nonsense?
Protection, bad luck, fairies, so such. And I go off and feeling more confident than I probably should. I start gathering up treasure.
Nice. Okay.
I follow Mahira. I do the same, but I also look at her like with a, like just to make sure she doesn't ambush me or anything like that.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
She has not ambushed you. she has picked up a mask that
Mhm.
surprises you. It's like a funereal mask, but it looks very similar to one that the barbarians were wearing.
Okay, I don't do anything straight away. I just watch her, and I see what she does. What she does with it.
Is this just a mask that I've picked up like it's a bit of treasure amongst other stuff that I'm picking up?
Yeah. It didn't jump out at you.
Okay.
At all.
I'm like, hey, big fellow, just help us out with this, and I'm pushing like a half full sack of heavy stuff into Runner's arms. Right? Like, don't just dally around. Let's get this and get out of here.
Nice.
But I don't object. Like,
you guys just grab a chunk of stuff, right? Like whatever you can carry in your arms and stuff in your packs.
And we take the parchments as well.
Yes.
The pergaments, the ritual. Yeah.
Yep. So you grab all the things that you desired and step out into the hallway, and there are still those other 2 doors there. Are you going to step down them, or are you heading back? Do you have what you need?
I think we at least have to look. I mean, what if we have these parchments, but these parchments are only 1/3 of the ritual? What if we need to see all of them?
Okay, so which one do you step down next?
I guess the one in the middle.
Okay.
It's the nearest one.
So, Gadrame, what would you desire to be down here?
What do I desire to be down here? I think what I desire to be down here is I think what's taken over me is actually a way out.
Nice.
I'm like thinking like, because we're choosing the middle one, and I said I saw something in the middle one, I'm kind of going along with this, but I'm kind of thinking, let's get out of here. This is already too much stuff to carry anyways. Yeah.
Nice. So you step into it and you see a set of stairs heading up.
And well,
do we all see those stairs?
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe there's another exit or entrance. That would make sense in the middle passage, right? Not really like trying to ignore this doesn't make sense geometrically.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there like light coming down from it or something?
Yeah, like maybe like a bit of moonlight or something. It's not strong, but yeah, there's clearly an opening.
It's breaking through, sort of. Ways of.
Why would one entrance be so heavily guarded? And we had to do the ritual to get in, and then the other entrance is just stairs out, like right by the end.
I don't know. Maybe it leads up onto a cliff where you can't actually get to normally.
Is this for real? Is this really real?
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't, you wouldn't have been able to. I mean, you said it was.
So, Verdun, can you make a corruption roll?
Sure. One dark die?
Yep, just one die. Yep. Oof. Okay, so your corruption goes up by 1. What does that look like to you? Oh, sorry, real quick. Is everyone okay on time? If we run a little over? Okay.
No worries.
Okay. So Verdun, what does that look like to you? How does your corruption manifest?
Not sure, to be honest. Maybe something with my scars.
Okay.
Something.
And there is the ash that I just put on your head as well. If you want to work at it.
All my scars turn gray, maybe like ashen gray.
Nice.
Or do they dry up and crack up a bit, and it sort of comes out actual ash out of them? Could that happen, or what
Sure,
sort of
yeah.
corruption? Yeah.
That sounds great. I love it.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
So,
So
like,
you've got like ash pouring off your arms at the minute.
what deep scars are like? At least some of them are pinky white. You know,
Yeah.
they crack up and what's almost I almost get a fit, but I managed to stay.
I look concerned at
in the
Mahira.
Do you like
Oh.
Gadrame, are you worried about this?
Yes, if our strong arm is like close to getting a fit, this is worrying to me.
Okay.
And
Can you make a corruption roll too?
yeah,
I'm like trying to whiff off this and sort of hide my face from the rest of you. Like I don't almost believe what I see, but I feel it. So I'm almost going into not shock, but I'm really concerned about this. What happens? What happens right now? Yeah.
When you think about hiding your face,
Yeah.
you happen to look in your hand and you have a mask in your hand.
What? I throw it away instantly. Like, I guess it's one of those smiling masks. Yeah. So I'm like, what? This place is cursed. This place is cursed. We need to go now. I won't stay here for one more minute. And I'm starting to get really pumped.
Just one more. I need to see what's down this other corridor.
Gadrame, how was that a 4 corruption?
yes.
So you went up?
Yep.
Okay. Real quick, what is your corruption? How does your corruption manifest?
I don't even notice it, but sometimes when I blink, you see a second dictating membrane, like from a serpent.
Nice.
Blink as well, sideways, right?
Nice.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mahira, you peek down the other hallway. Do the other two of you do that, or are you like rushing to get out?
No. I'm like standing there. I don't know if I'm gonna run or if I'm gonna stay waiting. But I guess that
I'm staying with Mahira and but like right following her. But I'm like, okay, well, let's check it, but let's be quick about it. Not really interested what's down there.
I manage my fear and follow as well, but I stay really behind last and really keeping worried as hell.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mahira, what do you desire to be down there?
How specific can I get without it breaking, if you see what I mean? In terms of a desire. Like how unlikely a thing could it be that is down here that I desire?
I don't know. Throw out an idea. Let's see. Let's see what you're thinking.
Right, so and sort of X card me not for content, but just for it not making sense, basically, if it doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Okay, so I go in there, and it is it's an entirely circular room, and like those little small portholes that were in there previously, there's hundreds of those, and in each of them is a little scroll. And I go in and open up the first scroll, hoping that it's going to be something that's going to be like another valuable spell, something like that. But as I start reading it, it's information about my family, and I open up more and more of these, and it says that like I should be the true heir of the noble family that I've been disinherited from, basically.
Perfect. I'm into it. Yes.
Cool.
Let's say that that's what it is. So the other two of you step into this room and you see all of these portals. You see exactly what Mahira is seeing. And Mahira, how compelled are you to keep following these around? Like, how many are you opening? Can you stop yourself?
I cannot. No, I'm going through, and I'm just sort of like opening one, seeing something really significant, kind of going to the next one, and I can't believe, but I don't. Not in a sort of like I can't believe, like I literally don't believe it, but just like this is just such incredible luck, and I'm going through because and I believe it because it's going back so far into my family's history that it's like that they could feasibly be this ancient. And it's just revealing all of the secrets and the horrible stuff that's been going on in my family, and that I should really be in control of it. And yeah, I'm just going through as many as I can find, basically, and trying to read them.
Could like the first one just be a ledger of some kind that's actually in itself not really valuable? So you drop it, but you got like that. There's a significance for you in there that makes you look towards the next. So I pick up the one you dropped, and I'm like, well, this is A, you dropped it, and B, it's like what is this? Is what I'm kind of like yelling out, like, this is worthless. Let's go.
And it's getting more and more specific about me as it's going on. And can I suggest something which might be again might break it, but I don't know, Jesse.
Yeah.
That as I go further up into what's basically the present, it starts describing our journey into the tunnel.
Yes, that is exactly where I was headed. So that is perfect.
Cool.
Yes.
And then I get to the one that says, and you are reading this, and you're reading this, and you're reading this, and it just kind of ends up in like a recursive loop of me reading the thing that I am reading.
Nice. And please make another corruption roll.
I think that seems very sensible.
Oh
no,
dang.
I am somehow not getting corrupt.
This is the one problem with this game, is that it's hard to snowball it at some point.
Yeah. I think maybe for this over Cthulhu Dark, it should be equal to or over.
Yeah, that would be good. Cool. Okay, cool. So at what point are you able to stop yourself?
I don't think
Can you?
am. No, I don't think I can, but I think I am stopped at the point that I get into the recursive loop of, and you are reading this, and it is you who's reading this, and you are reading this, and that just kind of loops on forever. And I think the Gadrame is going to have to get me out of it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Gadrame.
There's this like intensifying, getting in this, like seeing your close up to your eyes, probably, right? And then it's like slapping the scroll out of your hand interrupts that. Gotta go.
Yeah.
And I'm getting really restless now. Come on, let's leave now before this starts to get really bad.
I think it's really bad, but against my judgment, I do grab the one which most clearly makes me like the legitimate heir of my family's fortune.
Nice. So it was actually, you have to grab 3 of them to really make it complete. So you grab 3, you stuff them into your pouch, and how are you guys getting out? Are you going back the way you came in, or are you going down the middle path?
Oh, when we get back there, instinctively, I want to go the middle path.
Yeah.
Unless...
You will, did you say?
I would be going...
Yeah, I think I would be going that way as well. Yeah, I want to get out of here. I'm just trying to go the quickest path.
And I'm hesitating for 2 moments.
Bad idea.
Yes.
When these 2 starts to run up the stairs in the middle, I stop for 2 breaths, and I'm really hesitant, and I'm like just shaking my head, and then I follow.
Okay. Nice. So you follow up these stairs, you emerge at the top, and Gadrame, what does it look like when you emerge into the forest?
I mean, my speculation was completely correct. We come up on top of like a cliff that's basically just at the top of the tallest trees around. So it's hidden from sight, but at the same time really hard to access, right? Like nobody would ever climb up here because there wouldn't ever be a reason for it. It's just a rocky cliff coming out of the side of the slope of the forest here. So yeah, it's a bit of a ways down, but first thing is like taking in the fresh, cool air is at least that's what I'm expecting that I'm experiencing as I come out of the dark hotness from down there. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. You emerge, the other 2 of you emerge. And if you guys feel okay with it, this feels like an interesting place to cut it, actually. Because clearly you are still in the cavern. So
Do
you have
you
chosen
want to?
wrong. Go ahead. What?
So are you going to narrate us still being in the cavern?
Oh yeah, that's entirely where we are, right? If you chose this path, it's just following along until the inevitable infighting happens and you eventually succumb to one another. So, does that feel okay?
Nice.
Is everyone okay with us kind of cutting it there?
Yeah,
It just
maybe
felt
it's Gadramai emerging, right, and turning around, and you both see the nictating membrane, like.
Yeah, but I think if we also have a thing where we're out at that cliff and we're sort of okay, so we've got out and stuff like that, and then it just cuts back to us still having the same conversation, but just walking down this dark corridor with the and the torch flame is going out as we're walking down the corridor.
Absolutely,
I love that.
So good.
Cool, nice, awesome.
Good game, everyone.
That was
awesome
really
game.
That was so creepy.
Yeah. I love the loop in the end. Oh, it was so good.
That was so perfect. You guys were
Thank you.
Spot on. That was killer. I loved it.
And I think it was creepier. And I think it's just the familiarity, but it's creepier than the other Cthulhu Dark games I've played because, like, with Cthulhu, I know sort of vaguely what's going to happen. There's kind of the mythos has lost just like a little bit of its power, but with this, I had no idea what was going on. So just from going to kind of swords and sorcery stuff to weird, creepy stuff was really good and really unsettling.
Nice, perfect.
I agree.
If I had rolled that second corruption thing, the scars, the black marks all over me were going to start spouting feathers. Like I was going to have feathers coming out of my skin.
Nice, loved it. Yeah, there was lots of stuff we could have played with there. I was interested to see like if anyone was going to go down the route of like I like that Mathias that you brought in the eye thing because I was wondering if people's skin was going to start sloughing off, very snake-like and reptilian, right? Yeah, there's lots of cool potential imagery there. Lots of fun stuff to play with.
Yeah, I was thinking I'm kind of already marked by the serpents. Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I went kind of that direction too.
Yeah.
I was so grossed out on multiple occasions.
Good. Eyeballs and legs and heads in portals.
Eyeballs. Yeah. Back of eyeballs, just like that.
Squicky. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I'd love to do like if there are any other like kind of roses, thorns, stars, wishes kind of stuff we want to do. Happy to entertain thoughts and suggestions.
I think just the thing that you mentioned that corruption maybe doesn't come up quite enough.
Yeah.
That maybe it should be slightly easier to go corrupt, especially as I can kind of only really see this working. I assume it's intended for like one shots basically, or like very, very short. So for that, I think it would be more fun because when you play Cthulhu Dark and you have the they don't call it insanity anymore. Is it stability now?
Insight.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that's a pacing mechanic and it's part of the genre. But with this, you can really have fun with describing the weird shit that happens because it happens to your body as well as your mind. So I kind of wanted to see more of that so that I could say I spout feathers now. So I think that would be good if it's more likely to happen, or maybe if it's more likely to happen further on. So like the further you get into the adventure, it becomes easier. So like in the first section, it's like over, and the second section is equal or over, and then in the last act, it's under, or like one under maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. That's good. That's a good suggestion.
I have like two questions, and one is I haven't played Cthulhu Dark before, but so why do you think maybe you know better from experience? Why are there two roles, right? If the
you could certainly collapse it down to one, and that's like an alternative rule. I think actually, Oli, you used that with Jason at one point, right? Like just collapse it down to a single role.
I can't remember. That's a while back now, but that sounds about right. Yeah, that could work as well.
Yeah, the only reason for doing a second roll is because occasionally, so I guess you could split it into 2 rolls. So there is a corruption roll that you make just generally, right? If you see something horrifying, and so you have to have that roll anyways.
Yes.
You could say that if you are rolling a dark die and it is your highest, it is, if it rolls over, then it is. You could certainly just do that. I think that might be a nice addition. It certainly streamlines things.
Or maybe it's a pacing thing. Maybe Cthulhu Dark you would play over more sessions. I don't know.
Yeah, Cthulhu Dark I think is probably better for multiple sessions more generally. And that was part of why I had rituals in this, right? So that we can ratchet up corruption right off the bat if people want to go there. So we can go through things a little faster. So
and it's
actually that's how it works in Symbaroum, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So.
And the other question is so would it have been fair, or how's that thing handled? Like in the situation where Mahira was confronted by 3 barbarians, right? There's nothing really in the mechanics saying like if Oli had gone or described how you as the noble sorceress, right, went and took them all down in hand-to-hand fighting, right? That would have been feasible in terms of the mechanics here.
So technically, there's a note here that says if you try to fight any of the monstrosities, you will die. Technically, barbarians are maybe not monstrosities, and so you would be okay. Yeah, I would have let you take them out if you wanted to. I mean, the first barbarian you guys took down, and that was fine. It was a different direction than I thought maybe we'd end up going with it, but it was cool. Like I was into it. There was a nice part about you being like, nope, we're just killing a person. Like we don't even whatever.
That was dark, but I figured I didn't figure any of us were actually good people.
So yeah, entirely possible. I mean, there are none of the spells are combative. So there's that. You could attack someone, but your chances are like you'll probably introduce a complication unless you're the sellsword, you know?
That makes sense.
I was just thinking in terms of because it reads when the outcome of a task is in doubt, right? Like a player could go for very high stakes and
Yep, totally. I mean, it's entirely possible. I think this game is dependent on like playing with people who are playing to lose, you know? Like you have to kind of buy into that with any sort of Cthulhu game, you know? And you guys
also, like,
totally went there.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I mean, but it creates a really nice overarching bad feeling, you know? when you know you're gonna die as soon as you try to resist the monstrosity or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know, trekking around in the wilderness, running into bears or wolves or something like that. Probably gets the same sort of emotional trauma. Or,
yeah, nice.
No, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
Good.
Really
Awesome.
good. Well
You
run.
guys liked it. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I had a great time. Great time.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks again, guys. We'll wrap it here. We'll close out. So thanks everyone who watched or listened to this. And thanks again. Have a great night.
Have a great night.
Bye.
See you soon, guys.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.